And unfortunately, we're starting off this midday with some breaking news. Deputies are blocking traffic, we know, along Two Notch Road. There's been a situation with a suspect barricaded. We want to get right over to the live press conference right now with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Chief Maria Itoria is at the podium.
He went back inside. They attempted again to try to make contact with him. He came out of the house and began firing. He shot multiple times at those deputies. They decided to hold their position and call for additional units. As you can see, additional units did arrive, as well as our negotiators. They attempted to negotiate. We created a crime scene over here to try to secure it. Got any individuals that we thought might be in harm's way away from here, and they attempted negotiations. Those negotiations went on by PA and phone for roughly an hour, and he was non-responsive. Following that, we got additional units out here for them to safely be able to approach. This entire time he has been coming out and displaying his weapon and going back in. When we got units out here, our special response team came out here so that they can approach the situation. They did attempt safely to do it, and they tried to negotiate through their PA system as well, which was obviously did not work. That individual then came out, pointed the gun at the deputies, and went back inside. We did deploy less lethal. He went back in, came back out a second time, and started firing at the deputies, at which time they did return fire. The individual was struck. He was then transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. As you can see, the situation is still ongoing right now. It is still very early on in the investigation. I will tell you that at this point we are investigating some suspicious packages in the house. Questions?
Had any dealings with this individual before?
Yes, he is very well known to us. So yes, we have had dealings with him in the past.
Were they similar to this type of situation?
They have been aggravated in nature, yes.
Did he have like a mental health disorder?
Not that we are aware of.
Can you clarify how many were shot at and how many were pronounced dead?
So the only one that is pronounced dead is the individual, the suspect. Deputies, we had multiple deputies shoot. I don't want to give you an incorrect number. It was 5 or 6.
And this individual, was he associated with a power company?
The individual in the home?
Yes.
No.
Now, was that individual alone in the home, or was anybody else in there with him?
No. After the situation ended, we did go in to attempt to clear the house, and there was nobody else in the residence.
What type of weapon was he brandishing that made officers retreat initially?
He initially didn't brandish a weapon. He came out shooting at our deputies. The 2 individual deputies that were the initial ones on scene, as soon as they arrived and exited their vehicle, he shot at them with a pistol.
Can you tell about the different agencies that came out to assist you?
So we had Columbia Fire on standby because, we never know what's going to happen, and we also had Richland EMS to be on standby with us. And the rest are all Richland County deputies.
Any approximate age of the suspect, anything like that you can give us?
We're not going to release any of that information at this point. I will tell you it is very early on in the investigation, and we will release more information as well as identify the deputies that were involved in the shooting. We're just not going to do it right now. We need to make sure that his family is notified before we release any of his information.
And can you describe the home that this individual was in? Was it an apartment or a mobile home or a house? And were there other people in danger?
So there was not initially other people in danger because as soon as the situation began, we made sure to evacuate the area of those that would be there. As you can see, there's also individuals from businesses because it's right across from a business, so we evacuated the businesses as well. And it is a single residential home. All right.
Can you talk about the traffic? When is the road Two Notch going to be clear?
So we're working on that right now. As soon as, again, we can determine what's in the residence and how far we need to keep the location evacuated, we'll be sure to open up the traffic. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Just heard from Deputy Chief Maria Itura with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. More on this situation, which is again off of Leaside Drive. That is a very small street, a dead-end street actually, right off of Two Notch Road. We now know that one suspect is dead. He was shot and killed by Richland County deputies. They say this was not somebody who they hadn't heard of before. This was somebody that was, she said, very familiar to law enforcement. They had had several run-ins with him before. According to what she said, when they sent a special response team trying to get him out of a home, it was a single-family home, and they said that Richland deputies said that he came out firing at the deputies, and then at that point they did return fire. He was taken by ambulance to the hospital, but was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, the things that we don't know right now, we don't know the suspect's name. That is not being released. We also don't know which Richland County deputies were involved in the shooting. We are waiting to hear that. Let's put that map back up, though, so our viewers, if we can, Brandon, go ahead and put that map back up so our viewers know where this happened. It is, or we can take a live picture. Yeah, there we go. It is right on Two Notch Road. As you heard, they had to evacuate the area because that suspect did barricade himself inside a home and come out shooting, she said, multiple times. It's right off of Two Notch Road on Leaside Drive. If you're familiar with the area, it's right near a Pizza Hut, and also there's a couple car places right there right off of Two Notch. So our News 19's Walker Lawson is live at the scene right now talking about the traffic aspect of this. Obviously, it is noon. Two Notch is a very busy area. What are you seeing, Walker?
That's right, Andrea. We're here on Two Notch Road, right near Cadia Drive, and I'm going to step out of the way just to let you guys take a look. Law enforcement still has this section of Two Notch Road closed. People that are coming up to the area, they're asking them to turn around and go back down Two Notch Road. They are asking the public to avoid the areas between Arcadia Lakes Drive and Roof Street on Two Notch Road. Again, that's Arcadia Lakes Drive and Roof Street, and they are asking for the alternative route. It is to take Shakespeare Road to Roof Street. So again, Shakespeare Road to Roof Street. Now again, as they mentioned, it's still an ongoing situation, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we have some video that we might have from a business owner. My producer can let me know if we're playing that or not, but many businesses, as they mentioned earlier, were evacuated, and as well as a heavy law enforcement presence. I think I can count around 7 police vehicles still blocking off this section of Two Notch Road. Again, if you're kind of unfamiliar with the area, they're blocking off right where the Korean Japanese restaurant is, and then we are located right near Very's Great Philly Food, and this area again is still shut down in both ways. So again, alternative routes are for you guys to take Shakespeare Road to Roof Road to avoid the area, and that is the latest. And I believe we're going to take a look at this Facebook Live that my producer just mentioned. If you want to take a look at this, businesses showing heavy law enforcement presence, and as you can see, it has affected many of the areas, disrupted business for the day. Now, we do know some areas have been evacuated. I'm not too familiar with the one that we're looking at, Denise Sampson, but as you can see, there were several police vehicles outside of the business where she is at. So again, asking people to avoid this Two Notch Road area. And again, they're asking people to take Shakespeare Road to Roof Road as the alternative route. And that is the latest that we have here on Two Notch Road. Reporting in Columbia, I'm Walker Lawson, News 19 WLTX.
All right, Walker, thank you so much. Yeah, that is a live look at Walker Lawson, and as you can see behind him, the traffic is backed up. They are making folks turn. Again, the situation we were talking about, you saw the Pizza Hut in that video. That was video from Miss Denise, who works at a place there called Sue Beauty, which is right on Two Notch Road. But the facts that we know now, there's been a deputy-involved shooting with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. The suspect has been shot and killed. According to Richland County deputies, the suspect came out of a single-family family home on Leaside Drive and fired at those deputies multiple times. They did return fire, eventually killing the suspect. I think we have our News 19's Sam Perez live in the field to give us an update. Sam, you just heard Deputy Chief Maria Itura talking about this, but I know that there is a huge law enforcement presence as well. For anybody who's just joining in, tell us what you have seen since you got there at Leaside Drive.
Yes, Andrea. So I'm on Two Notch Road right now. I'm in between Crosland Lane and Roof Street. And so there was a very heavy law enforcement presence here when we first arrived just an hour ago. There were over 20 Richland County Sheriff's Department vehicles. There was Richland County EMS, Richland County Fire Service, and they were all behind me. Now you can see that presence has started to clear further down Two Notch Road, more towards Leaside Drive. There is still a heavy law enforcement presence. Traffic is still being redirected, but it is starting to clear up, and that's because it looks like the situation has now resolved with that suspect having been transported to the hospital. I did talk to Richland County Sheriff's Department deputies who say that while officers did return fire, they don't know exactly the number yet, or they're not releasing that information, but they said it was about 5 different officers that returned fire. None of them were injured, and it was just the suspect that was injured. So again, they're starting to open this up, starting to clear the scene, but still over by Leaside Drive, over where Walker is. The area does look like it's still shut down. We can see some flashing lights, deputies still back over there behind me. And right now that is what we know. The situation is still being investigated. Richland County Sheriff's Department says they're working to learn more information, which they will release to us as soon as they're available to. So we'll continue to have those updates as we learn more. Andrea, back to you.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. If you are just joining us for the first time here on News 19 at noon, we are live, obviously, on the scene off of Two Notch Road. Can we put up that video one more time from our viewer of what was going on there earlier today? We just heard from the Richland County Sheriff's Department that there was a deputy-involved shooting. Many deputies, they say, returned fire with this suspect. Now, Richland County Sheriff's Department has not released the name of the suspect just yet, only saying that this is somebody that has had many run-ins with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. Now, something interesting as well that Deputy Chief Maria Itura mentioned during this press conference, she said that they were investigating several suspicious packages inside this residence. There's the Pizza Hut that I was talking about right in the area, just to give you your bearings on where we're talking about here on Two Notch Road. But luckily, Richland County Sheriff's deputies were able to evacuate this area right by Leaside Drive. They even went to some of these local businesses and said, don't come out of your business because shots are being fired, obviously wanting to protect everybody in that area from stray bullets, since they knew not only, they say, the suspect was firing shots, but also eventually the deputies did return the shots. The road is currently shut down. That's what this map is showing you right now. The road is shut down on Two Notch Road between Arcadia Lakes and Roof Street. As we heard our News 19's Walker Lawson tell you, they are asking you to take Shakespeare Road instead. If you have friends and family that work in this area that might be heading out for a lunch break, let them know. Avoid Two Notch at all costs. Obviously, when we have scenes like this, and especially when it comes to a fatal shooting, they will be out there for hours. I expect this investigation at the scene to go on for hours and that road closure to stay for a while as they continue that investigation. But again, no Richland County Sheriff's deputies were hurt in this shooting. We are still waiting for the name of the suspect and why he was a suspect. But they do say that he came out of the house several times and pointed his gun at the deputies and then came out and fired shots at the deputies. That's when they returned fire, killing that suspect. So make sure you keep it tuned to WLTX throughout the day. Here's another live look for you. You can see still a huge law enforcement presence there. We've seen obviously lots of Richland County Sheriff's deputies' cars. They also said they called in their special response team for crisis negotiators, hostage negotiators, those deputies that are specially trained to deal with these situations and hope to be able to speak to that suspect and get him to surrender peacefully. Unfortunately, that is not what happened in this situation. So again, avoid Two Notch area between Roof Street and Arcadia Lakes. They would like you to take Shakespeare instead. This is a developing story. We expect to get more information throughout the day. Make sure you download our WLTX app. We always have the latest. You can also watch live streaming for free from the app, so you could have watched this press conference live right from your phone. And of course, we will continue to bring you this information throughout the day.